Welcome to the Concordia College Football Show with Coach Terry Horan. I'm your host, Norman Bell. Terry, not the results you wanted this past Saturday. You know, in a tough game like that, there's still some bright spots to look forward to in the rest of the season.
Yeah, long season left, Norm, as you know. We had a hiccup. Things like that happen. Offensively, unfortunately, we couldn't get much going. And, I thought St. Thomas's defense was solid, but there was a lot of things that we just didn't do. We didn't execute. We didn't make some of the reads that we needed. We didn't make some of the catches that we should have. And you know what? We left our defense in some short field situations. But if there was a positive in this game, it was the way our black shirt defense played. I mean, to hold St. Thomas's offense to 277 yards of total offense. It's the first time all year that they've been under 300 yards. And being, the situations that we were in, I mean, their average starting field position was the 49-yard line, and the way our offense went and the fact that where they were starting with their field position, the fact that they only gave up 14 points was pretty amazing. Obviously the 21st point came off of a fumble of ours that they scooped and ran down to about the 1-yard line. And things happen. One of the keys I said going into this game was you got two really good football teams, and execution is going to be a must. But taking care of the football is what usually is a stat that you look at the end of a big game, and who created more turnovers. Well, obviously, unfortunately, that was on our end this time, and it's something that we gotta improve on and get back to what we do and continue to keep growing. I mean, Blake's first start, obviously didn't go the way any of us would have wanted it for him, and he would say the same. But we just got to get back to work and study up Hamline now and get him ready for Saturday.
Before we get to the highlights, talk about the physicality. That was a very physical game.
Yeah, it was, and it has been over the years, and that's part of the reason why we went outside the box and took on a Whitewater team, so we could get used to that physicality, before it really mattered most, and that's within our league play. So, I thought we picked up a lot from that, that experience, and obviously getting the win over Whitewater was huge, and play the way we did play. And it was a physical game. I mean, we lose Brandon Bungard right out of the gates, our starting center, gets poked in the eye and couldn't come back, so we were playing with a couple freshmen there. And when you have a new quarterback, now all of a sudden he's losing his anchor at center. Now you've got that to weigh and to deal with too. And they're a physical defense, and they're aggressive, and they just kept attacking, and unfortunately we weren't able to get much going.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead on and take a look at the first half here. Let's go. Beautiful.
Yeah, great facility. They've really done it over the years, and they had a good crowd. It was their homecoming game. They pooch kicked down in the corner, and we at least got up into that 25, 30-yard line. First play from scrimmage is something that we had worked on, and we got to make those catches. We make that catch, we're across midfield, and moving forward. Here we're punting. I thought our punt pro was great all day. I think we were in the mid-30s on average. They didn't fair catch that, and Jason just hit him early, so there's a penalty there. But our defense just came out and made plays, and
that was a fourth down
play right there, knocked down by Alex Berg, and then we get the ball back, and is this our fumble?
Yep, that's the first one.
A little midline option play where Blake took the ball up, and now they got another short field, and to get the big sacks, and our D's coming back on the field and with another short field, like I said, and to come away with nothing was big.
They tried that a couple of times, going deep on you there,
yeah.
Matching up with one of their really good tight ends with a linebacker.
With our inside backer.
It didn't work for them.
No, it didn't. You got an athletic Thompson who was there stride for stride. He might have been just a half step back, but he was there, and he's athletic, okay? we're back on the field offensively, and unfortunately we, just didn't do much. It was just tough to hit the office, and I told the kids afterwards, this isn't going to define us. We got to shake this one off and get ready to play Hamline. There's a lot of season left. We're 4-1 halfway through the season, and our goal is to go 1-0 each week.
They put up 7 points there.
7 points off of another turnover. I mean, we had 3 turnovers, and that's the third one. They finally got points up on the board, and again, they with some of our youthfulness up front and their aggressive play and not getting much going. You have days like this, and we've been blessed that we haven't had many days like this.
Right.
So now it's just regrouping and
there's another shot.
Coming shot, and there's Thompson's right on his heels. So there's Avon making a good sack and another pressure play by him and by our D line.
And he made his first start as a Cobber Saturday.
Yep, he did. Back on offense again, and Blake's got a nice arm, and unfortunately we got rid out of bounds on the fade route, and it's just right now we've got so many receivers that are pretty even. We got to figure out who are going to be those top guys so he can start having some confidence, build some confidence with a few of these guys, and we got to start making some of those plays.
And that'll take us to the second quarter here.
Yeah, we're in the second quarter, and playing the way we're playing, we're only down 7-0.
Right.
And our defense did worked their tails off just to keep us in.
Right here, completely out of bounds there.
Yeah, his heel steps out, and unfortunately at our level, they don't have replay. You could see it on the big screen right out of the gates, but it's too bad. Now it's 14-0. We go in at halftime at 14-0, and you're still right there. You're still a play or two away. And then, guys, we start pressing a little bit, trying to make things happen, and sometimes that, makes it even worse. And Blake's a big kid. He's a strong kid.
I don't know. I think that was maybe a broken route, or
just a broken route, throwing it away, and he'd been feeling the heat all day, and we just gotta get back to the drawing board and get things squared away and get ready for Hamline.
Okay. When we return, we'll take a look at those second half highlights. Welcome back to the Concordia College Football Show with Coach Terry Horan. Terry, what was the message to the guys in the locker room?
Well, I know offensively, I mean, we hardly went to the whiteboard because really it was all on us and what's inside the heart, and because they weren't showing us anything different, and we prepped it all week. We just weren't making the reads when we needed to make reads. We were giving the ball when we should have been pulling. We're pulling when we should have been given. We didn't catch footballs. We didn't protect very well. So offensively, it was a matter of what's inside you. We're down 14-0. That's 2 plays. So we're right there. And defensively, continue to keep doing what we were doing because our kids, they played extremely hard and held a very good St. Thomas offense in check. They just needed a little help from their buddies on the other side of the ball, and it just wasn't happening.
They ran 67 offensive plays, but were never, ever able to sustain a drive.
No, and that give credit to our defense and the way they played, and our coaches did a great job of prepping our kids, and our kids were ready. They were ready to play. And we just needed to establish some drives offensively to keep them off the field a little bit and rest up. It just seemed like our D was on the field the entire day. But those guys, even being on the field the entire day, like they were, they gave great effort. every single rep. They gave great effort, and it wasn't like our offense wasn't trying. I'm not saying that. I mean, our guys were trying. They're trying hard. We had some young guys in some certain spots. You had your first-time quarterback in Blake Cragness playing in a varsity game, and it happens to be against St. Thomas. There's a lot of pressure there, and it's our job as a staff to limit that pressure and put them in situations where they can make plays and be successful, but we got to make plays, and then we weren't doing that.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at those second half highlights. They deferred to open the game.
So we opened up. We actually squib kicked, and part of that was just so they wouldn't be able to get their return set up. And our guys did a great job of doing exactly what we wanted them to do. And our D's got back out on the field and did their thing. We're always getting somebody close to them.
Yeah.
If not sacking him, we're getting him close to him.
There's a fumble.
There's
right
the fumble. There. Yep, there's the fumble, and Dallas Raftable picked it up, and that was a huge break for us. And all of a sudden, we get the ball back. I mean, that was down. They were getting close to the red zone on that.
Yeah. That was a little contact on that play there.
Yeah, a little contact, but we worked that so much. Our guys got to set their routes up a little bit better so we can. And then this is exactly what we didn't want to have happen. It was like a nightmare. We fumble the ball, they pick it up, scoop, and they got down to about 1 yard line. And then one play later, it's another tough position to put your defense out on the field on. So now it's 21-0. We're early third quarter for the most part, and we gotta try to get something going. Great catch by Jordan Spaeth. He's really coming as a receiver. The kid came in as a quarterback, moved him to slot back this year. During spring ball, he put him to wide out, and he's got really good hands and is running good routes. So we've been pleased with Jordan's efforts right now. There they go, try to go up on top again, well defended. And then you get in that quick kick situation. It's an offensive formation. For the most part, we know they're quick kicking. Right. But you can't afford if they don't. So we decide to defend it and take our chances on where that ball may go.
It was a nice pitch and catch there. Unfortunately, Connor was out of bounds.
Right, and it's a flag route, and we're looking the comeback, and when you look the comeback, and then now he runs his flag, he's running out of real estate. He did throw it in there nice, but we don't have 3 more yards on the sideline, or else that would have been a catch.
And for the most part, you guys just kind of exchanged punts for the rest of the game, essentially.
Yep, there's another great D sack, and
they miss a field goal attempt here. They actually missed 2 in the second half.
Missed 2 in the second half, which is, those are huge defensive stops,
Move on into the fourth quarter.
Into the fourth quarter. Fortunately, back to kind of seeing the same things, and you know what? And just Cobber fans, this is all coachable. We'll be able to fix all of this, and we're going to be back on the horse here this afternoon, prepping Hamline, and nobody feels worse than our kids. Our kids are upset and bummed that we didn't have a 3-phased performance, and our D's played lights out great in a game like this. We just need to get the other side of the ball going, and we'll get it back. We got too many great players on that side of the ball to not be effective.
Would you say this is a great teaching point for the younger guys to tell them, when you say be prepared,
Right.
Be prepared, know what you're supposed to do, because you never know when your number is going to get called.
Absolutely, 100%. You prep your guys all week long, and you just never know. One play away, we always talk about. Backups are one play away, and you really got to believe that. I mean, look at Bundy goes down, second play,
Yep.
And we got a backup, and he happens to be a freshman. We played 2 freshmen in that center position against their nose, who was a pretty good football player. You got to be prepped. You got to watch film. You got to study, and that was the day that you know, we don't want to have too often.
Right. Have you had a chance to talk to the team since Saturday, and what did you say to them?
Yeah, you know, we talked after the game, obviously. What do you say after a game? You know, I talked to our boys about, you know, this isn't going to define us. You know, we'll get back to the drawing board, we'll study film, and we'll be ready to go by next Saturday. We meet this afternoon for our walkthrough, so we'll have a good chance to talk, and we'll be fine. We'll be right back where we need to be, and looking forward to playing again. And it can't come fast enough.
Yeah. Well, when we return, we'll talk to senior defensive lineman Kirby Siewert. Welcome back to the Concordia College Football Show with Coach Terry Horan. We're now joined by senior defensive lineman Kirby Siewert. Kirby, thanks for joining me, man.
Thanks for having me, Norm.
Detroit Lakes, Minnesota, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Highway 10 has been pretty good to the Cobber football program, all the way up and down. But Detroit Lakes seems to, you know, have a special place here at Concordia with 4 of you guys actually on the team.
Yeah. And we've had a few guys in the past, too. A few guys that kind of helped in recruiting me to Concordia, too.
That was going to be my next question. Did that have anything to do with helping your decision to come
Yeah,
here?
it definitely helped. The seniors that were a year above me in high school, I think like 4 of them came to Concordia, and, you know, some of them were some of my bestest friends, and my sister was graduating from Concordia, so there's a lot of influence on them on coming to Concordia.
What's your experience been like here at Concordia?
It's been hectic and busy, but it's been good life experience, a lot of fun.
What's the balance between football and school been like for you? This is a very tough school academically, and to be a football player on top of that doesn't make it any easier.
Yeah, definitely during the season, it's, you know, football takes up, you know, with practice and everything, it can take up 6-7 hours of your day, and then you have to, you know, squeeze in homework after that. So, like, I think last year I was at a point where I would just go to bed as soon as I got back from practice and wake up early at like 5 in the morning to do homework.
Mm-hmm. And you're a business major, is it?
Yep.
What are your plans after graduation?
You know, kind of just, you know, going on a job search. If nothing else, my parents, they bought a business as kind of their, you know, semi-retirement a couple years ago, and I know they always need my help there.
Okay. Now, you spent this past summer helping out down there, right?
Yep.
Did that help you in any way, shape, or form to see how business actually works?
Yeah, my dad kind of took me under his wing a little bit and kind of, you know, just gave me like a run around on just running and operating a small business.
Now, as a defensive lineman, you play on one of probably, this is my opinion, one of the best defensive lines in the MIAC. Mm-hmm. What's it like working with those guys day in, day out, and just seeing all the work come to fruition during a game?
You know, it's really nothing to say about it. It's just we're experienced. We've all been together. We know how we all communicate with each other, and we're just out there having fun at this point.
Coach Isendorf is kind of a fiery guy. Does that help in motivating you guys at all?
Definitely does, yeah. And, you know, if anything, he's actually kind of calmed down the past couple of years as, you know, we've grown up. You know, we have, you know, our top 2 rotations are all seniors and juniors. So, you know, we've been around. We know everything. He has full confidence in us and kind of lets us just do our thing.
Yeah. Now, you're sort of a quiet guy. I'm not going to say soft-spoken, but you don't get too loud at all.
Oh, no, I kind of just do my thing.
What's it like when the younger guys come to you for advice?
You know, I kind of just do what I can do. You know, I had a couple of good seniors ahead of me when I came in freshman year, and I kind of just, you know, pay it forward and help them out.
Okay. Talk a little bit about last week's game. It's, you know, it's not a decision that, you know, you wanted, but there was still some bright spots in that game, especially defensively.
I mean, defensively, we did, you know, about as good as we could do. You know, our defensive line did a great job. You know, we had our outside backers, Evan, he got his first start, and he was doing really good. And, you know, even though things weren't going really well, just like, can't say enough about Andrew Thompson and Alex Berg, because they were just nonstop just being supportive, saying, hey, don't give up, keep going, let's keep doing our thing, offense will get going.
So let's talk about Detroit Lakes for a little bit. What was it like growing up in a lakeside town?
You know, it was kind of just the hopping place in the area. It was always something going on, you know, always something to do, have fun, you know, sports was a big part of my life growing up, and, you know, having a great historic, like, football team around us that had recent history, like, throughout the 90s and the early 2000s. It was, like, great to be a part of that.
You ever hang out at the beach down there?
Not as much as I'd want to.
I hear you. I see Zorba's is your favorite restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
What's your favorite dish at Zorba's?
I mean, I'm pretty big on the Thai pie pizza.
Thai pie. Okay, I've never had that one.
It's a little bit of a different one. Not many people really like it, but it's kind of like a peanut sauce with just like pineapples, banana peppers, onions, and bacon. It's top notch.
Okay, I always have to get the Mexican pizza because that's what my wife wants. I'm like a sausage and pepperoni guy, but I have to give. So, well, thank you for joining me, Kirby. I really appreciate it, man, and good luck on the rest of the season.
Thanks, Norm.
That was senior defensive lineman Kirby Siewert. Welcome back to the Concordia College Football Show with Coach Terry Horan. And I have Mr. Concordia Athletics right here. Mr. Jim Sella, our sports information director, soccer coach, Hall of Famer, radio show host, you name it, he does it. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Norm.
You're welcome, you're welcome. What's going on?
A lot. At this time of the year, there's a lot of things going on. We always have like 6 to 8 contests up per weekend between cross country and golf and soccer and volleyball and football. So I'm always trying to keep track of that. And then now we're getting into the crossover season, which will come with hockey and basketball, and all the winter sports start to come up. So my time right now, I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off. So, but it's fun. It's a great time of the year. You know, all the seasons are kind of winding down, but they're getting into that playoff mode, and then all the winter sports are excited to start up. So it's a great time of the year.
Yeah. Let's go back to that Hall of Fame deal there. Homecoming last weekend, Hall of Fame, you get inducted into the Hall of Fame. That's got to be a special honor. But let me say this because this is important. You tried to act like it wasn't a big deal, and no, and being coy. But I noticed you were wearing a maroon half-zip shirt during the game, but when you came out for the Hall of Fame induction, you had on this nice, crisp, white, brand-new Concordia half-zip. And if it wasn't a big deal, why couldn't you just keep your work clothes on?
I know. So you caught me. No, you got me red-handed. There's nothing I can say. And, as much as I like to downplay it, just because I've been around so many great people like Terry and yourself and so many other people that help me do my job, it's really special to me just because I've been around this place for 26 years. And when I first started and talking to people like Sonny Gulsvig and Al Rice and all the people that came before me, it's just special to have myself be put in that same kind of mention with them in the Hall of Fame. So as much as I try to downplay it, I did that kind of through the course of the week so I wouldn't break down, because every time I thought about it, I started to just choke up. And even now when I start talking about it, I choke up. Vegas odds had me at about 30 times during that week that I'd break down. I went over that by like 20. So it was very special. And like you said, yes, it did mean a lot to me. And banquet, I had a suit and tie on, which I know Terry Horan's probably never seen me in a suit and tie. So that's the good thing about my job. I get to be behind the scenes and take care of everybody else. But for the one night, I got to step out in the spotlight, and it was fun. And I said my banquet speech, that'll be the last time I'll ever make a speech in public. The rest of the time, I'll be behind the scenes helping out Concordia and making sure all the sports teams look good.
All right. I forgot to mention a Golden Cobb Award recipient at last spring's banquet there.
It's been a good year. It's been a good year. The Bucky Burgow Achievement Award for the Golden Cobbs, which is the student-run SACS award show during the spring, which they put a great job. And every year it gets bigger and bigger, and it's just a blast to see that. And then they voted me to be the Bucky Burgow Award winner, and some great people have won the award, like Jim Ford, who used to be the faculty rep for Concordia, and he goes probably to more games than I do, if that's possible. But he's always at the games. So to be in that class, once again, is just an honor. And I'm just thrilled, and it's humbling to have me win the Bucky Burgow Award. And then also in the Hall of Fame. So I might quit. I might have to quit now because it's not getting any better than that.
Just to give some people some perspective of what your job is like here at Concordia, the first home volleyball event was getting ready to take place at 7 o'clock in Memorial, and just so happened the first conference MIAC soccer game versus St. John's goes into overtime. So you're stuck between two places. Everyone's looking for you. They're asking me, hey, I don't know what to tell you.
There's sometimes you're cheering for Concordia, and then there's sometimes you're just cheering for a result. And that might have been one of those times where you're just cheering for a result in a soccer game, but you're hoping Concordia wins. Obviously, it ended up in a tie, but then I have to go right from the soccer field and just fly over to the volleyball arena and get my stuff set up for that. And two, one of the things that sometimes people don't understand is my crew that works with stats, et cetera, is all student driven. So I have all student workers. So for that crew, for volleyball, it was their very first match they've ever done. So they were panicking, and they're texting me, and I'm getting texts from everybody else. Where are you? What's going on? What do I need to do? So I got over there just in the nick of time to set everything up for volleyball and get that all done. So sometimes it's like that. It's very hectic when you've got different things going on from game to game to game. But for the most part, it's going to work out, except when we have October 21st coming up. We're going to have a home football game that weekend against Augsburg. We have, at the same time, men's soccer going on, women's soccer at home against Augsburg, and then we'll have volleyball going on at the same time. So I'm going to have to clone myself and be in 4 different spots at the same time. But with the way Terry Horan handles me, I think I'll be at football for most of the part.
Now, you mentioned all that. We still haven't talked about the radio show.
That's yes. And then this year we got put on, which is great for Concordia to be able to talk with Terry. And then during the winter months, it's on Mondays at 6:30. On WDAY for people that haven't tuned in before. So you tune into that show and you can listen to Terry. We'll break down a little bit more. We always have another coach that comes on. Sometimes Joe Christensen, the men's golf coach and assistant athletic director, and I host that. It's a great way for Concordia to get out there. So we do that Mondays at 6:30. And then also the pregame show, which you're a part of, went from 30 minutes to 60 minutes on Saturdays, and the first 30 minutes I tape that game day show, and then we air that from 12 to 12:30 before we pick up your pregame show, which has been great as well to get different things on there, because I can this week I'll talk to Marv Roski, the women's cross country coach, and I can kind of go more in depth with one of the players like you do here on this coach's show.
I put in a lot of hours during the fall with football and things like that, but you make me feel bad for thinking that when I look at your schedule. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem. Like I said, and you do it too because you can see it's a labor of love. And like I said in my speech for the Hall of Fame, there's an old Confucius proverb that says, if you love your job, you'll never work a day in your life. And to me, I've never had to work a day in my life because I get to work with great people like yourself and Terry and all the great student athletes like Kirby. It's a dream come true.
I feel exactly the same, man. I couldn't believe that I get the opportunity to do this, be around football, talk football for 4 or 5 months out of the school year.
And you did a great job. We even interviewed you for the pregame show, and I've had more comments about your interview because they didn't know that you played for Tulane and all the things you did. So I've got more comments about that. So it's great to see, and it's like I said, it's great people like yourself here at Concordia that make the job special.
Thank you very much. That was Sports Information Director Jim Sella.
My boy, bye, okay? Guys, one of your past inside linebackers summed it up well. City Slickers don't like bar fights. Start from the beginning. Let's go. Get after them.
Welcome back to the Concordia College Football Show with Coach Terry Horan. Well, Terry, the nice thing about a loss, I guess, is the fact that Saturday you get to strap it on again.
That's right. We get to play again, and that's a good thing. And like I said earlier, it can't come soon enough. The only way I know how to get out of the doldrums is to get back to work, and our kids will get back to work, and we're going to be just fine.
Yeah, and you play Hamline University, which Hamline is a good team, just some struggles as of late.
Yeah, they've had some struggles, but they have a lot of weapons. This Justice Spriggs quarterback, he's one of the top ones in the league. He threw for almost 500 yards this past weekend in a loss to St. Olaf. He's got a top target that he likes, and that young man had over 200 yards receiving and 4 touchdowns this past weekend. Defensively, they're an even front defense, kind of a 4-4 style D, and they're aggressive. They're scrappy. Chip Taylor, their head football coach, I thought he was the coach of the year last year. I thought he did an amazing job with Hamline, and he's continuing to coach these guys great. They're always a tough team to play, especially down at their place. So we got our hands full. We know we do that, and but we got to get back to work, and it can't come soon enough.
Well, the Cobbers look to get back to their winning ways this Saturday as they face Hamline University in St. Paul, Minnesota at 1 o'clock. This has been the Concordia College Football Show with Coach Terry Horan. That was Sports Information Director Jim Sella.